The huge alien ship gleamed like polished silver under the artificial lights. Dr. Elena Vasquez took a deep breath as she walked down the corridor with the rest of the human delegation. This was humanity's big moment. First official contact with the Galactic Council. "Remember, just smile and follow protocol," Captain Mills whispered to the team. "We represent all of Earth today." Elena nodded, trying to calm her racing heart. As the ship's lead scientist, she had studied everything they knew about alien biology for months. But reading reports was nothing like seeing dozens of different alien species in one massive room. The council chamber doors slid open with a soft hiss. Elena's eyes widened at the sight of at least 15 different alien species seated in a half-circle. Some had scales, others had blue skin, and a few didn't look like they had skin at all. A tall, purple-skinned alien with 4 arms approached them. "Welcome, humans of Earth. I am Ambassador Zorax of the Zoraxian Empire, your assigned guide to the Council." Captain Mills stepped forward with a practiced smile. "Thank you for this historic opportunity. We come in peace and friendship." Everything was going perfectly. The human delegation presented their gifts. The aliens showed impressive holograms of their worlds. Elena answered questions about Earth's ecosystems. The atmosphere grew relaxed and positive. Then came the traditional greeting ceremony. "As is custom, we will now exchange the touch of peace," Ambassador Zorax announced, extending his upper right hand toward Captain Mills. One by one, the aliens touched hands with each human. When it was Elena's turn to greet Ambassador Zorax, she noticed a small paper cut on her index finger from the documents she had been reviewing earlier. "Greetings, Ambassador," she said, extending her hand. Their hands touched. A small drop of Elena's blood from her paper cut made contact with the ambassador's purple skin. The effect was instant and horrifying. Ambassador Zorax let out a shriek that made everyone in the chamber freeze. Where Elena's blood touched his skin, it began to bubble and smoke like acid on metal. The ambassador fell to his knees, clutching his dissolving hand. "What have you done?" he screamed, his voice filled with pain and fear. "Guards, contain the humans." Chaos erupted in the chamber. Aliens scrambled away from the humans. Armed guards with strange weapons rushed in, surrounding the Earth delegation. "We didn't do anything," Captain Mills shouted, raising his hands. "It was an accident." Elena stared in horror at the ambassador's hand, where her small drop of blood had eaten a coin-sized hole through his purple flesh. "That's impossible," she whispered. "Quarantine them immediately," shouted a tall, insect-like alien. "They are biological weapons." The guards herded the shocked humans toward a side door as council members backed away in terror. Through the confusion, Elena's scientific mind was already racing. How could human blood, with its mild pH level, cause such a violent reaction? As the heavy doors sealed behind them, Elena realized with dread that this first contact had just become first conflict. And somehow, the ordinary blood flowing through her veins was the cause of it all. "Please stay calm. We are not here to harm anyone," Captain Mills said for the 5th time as alien guards in thick protective suits locked the humans in their quarters. The room was large but felt like a prison. Clear walls let the aliens watch the humans from every angle. Elena sat on a bench, staring at her hands. "How could my blood do that?" she whispered. "It makes no scientific sense." Commander Jackson Chen, the head of security for the Earth delegation, paced the room like a caged tiger. His military training made him suspicious of everything. "This could be a trick," he said. "Maybe they planned this to make us look dangerous." Dr. Wong, another scientist on the team, shook her head. "No, I saw it too. The ambassador's skin actually melted when Elena's blood touched it." 3 hours later, a group of aliens approached. They wore special suits that covered their entire bodies. One of them spoke through a translator device. "We need blood samples from all of you. We must understand what kind of biological weapons you carry." "We are not weapons," Captain Mills protested. "We had no idea this would happen." The aliens ignored him and began collecting samples. They used special tools to take small amounts of blood from each human, being extremely careful not to touch it directly. Alina watched with scientific curiosity despite her fear. "Please, I'm a xenobiologist. I study alien life. Let me help with the testing. I want to understand this as much as you do." The lead alien scientist looked at her through his protective mask. After a moment, he nodded. "You will be monitored at all times." In a separate lab room, Alina worked with the alien scientists. They showed her test results on large screens. Human blood was causing violent chemical reactions when mixed with samples from every council species. "This is extraordinary," she said, studying the data. "Our blood contains iron, while your species all use copper in your blood. But that alone wouldn't cause this reaction." The alien scientist named Xerax moved closer to the screen. "Your blood also contains other elements we rarely see in biological life. The combination creates a compound that acts like a powerful acid to our biology." Back in the holding room, Commander Chen was gathering information from guards who would talk to him. The news wasn't good. "They're calling us toxic creatures on their networks," he told the team when Alina returned. "Some are saying we were created as biological weapons." Alina shared what she had learned. "Every species in the council has copper-based blood. Our iron-based blood creates a chemical reaction that's extremely dangerous to them. It's not just the ambassador species, it's all of them." Captain Mills looked grim. "So every human is basically walking around with acid in their veins, from their perspective." "Exactly," Alina said. "And I overheard something else. The council is voting right now on what to do with us, and with Earth." Commander Chen's face hardened. "What kind of options are they considering?" Alina looked at each member of the team before answering. "Quarantine, sterilization, or complete isolation of our planet. They're afraid of us now." Outside their clear prison, they could see more guards arriving, wearing even heavier protection. The humans watched in silence, suddenly aware that the simple blood in their veins had just made humanity the most feared species in the galaxy. Strange alarms echoed through the station, waking the humans from uneasy sleep. Commander Chen was on his feet instantly. "Something's wrong," he said, moving to the clear wall of their prison. The alien guards were running, speaking rapidly in their own languages. Captain Mills joined him. "Where are they going?" They got their answer minutes later when the doors burst open. A group of aliens stormed in, wearing different uniforms than the regular guards. Their protective suits were marked with red symbols. "What's happening?" Alina asked, but none of the aliens would answer. The leader of the group pointed strange weapons at the humans. "You will come with us now." Commander Chen stepped forward. "Where are you taking us?" Instead of answering, the alien jabbed the weapon toward him. "Move." Captain Mills raised his hands. "We should cooperate for now," he whispered to the team. As they were marched through the corridors, Xerax, the alien scientist who had worked with Alina, appeared suddenly from a side passage. "Stop," he shouted. "By order of the council, these humans are under scientific protection." The leader of the armed group turned. "The council is wrong. These creatures are too dangerous to live. The Purification Front will protect our worlds." Xerax stood his ground. "This is illegal. Stand down." What happened next was chaos. The armed aliens attacked Xerax and the few guards with him. In the confusion, Commander Chen acted quickly. He grabbed a weapon from a fallen guard and pushed Alina and the others toward a side door. "Run," he shouted. The humans fled down a narrow corridor with several armed aliens in pursuit. At a junction, Commander Chen turned to face their pursuers. "Keep going," he told the others. "I'll hold them here." Alina hesitated, but Captain Mills pulled her along. Behind them, they heard fighting. The chase continued through the station. During one confrontation, an alien grabbed Dr. Wang's arm. His protective glove tore on a sharp edge of a doorway, and his skin touched the sweat on Dr. Wang's arm. The alien screamed as his hand began to dissolve. The other pursuers froze in horror as their comrade fell to the ground, his hand melting away. Security cameras recorded everything. Hours later, the humans were back in custody, but everything had changed. The footage of human sweat melting alien skin had spread across the station's networks. Panic was growing among all species. In a secure conference room, Alina and Captain Mills faced a small group of council leaders. "This situation is unprecedented," said the council speaker, a tall blue alien. "The footage of your biological effect has caused widespread fear." "We didn't start this," Captain Mills said firmly. "These purification front people attacked us." Xerax, now with bandages on his arm, spoke up. "That is true, but the damage is done. Billions of beings across council space have now seen humans as deadly biological hazards." "What happens now?" Alina asked quietly. A new alien stepped forward, one with multiple eyes and green skin. "I am Counselor Vreen. I lead the Science Directorate. We have a proposal." The green alien looked at each human before continuing. "Work with us to understand this phenomenon. If we can find a way to neutralize this effect, perhaps coexistence is possible. If not..." The alien didn't finish the sentence. Commander Chen, who had been allowed to join them after the attack, crossed his arms. "And if we refuse?" Xerax's large eyes blinked slowly. "Then you will never leave this station, and your Earth will likely be declared a quarantine zone. Or worse. You're threatening our planet," Chen demanded. "No," Vreen said softly. "I am trying to save it." Alina worked day and night in the alien laboratory. With Xerax's help, she tested human blood samples against different alien tissues. Every test showed the same result. Human blood was dangerous to all council species. "There must be a way to neutralize the effect," she said, rubbing her tired eyes. Xerax moved carefully around the lab in his protective suit. "Perhaps, but some on the council aren't waiting for a solution." "What do you mean?" Alina asked. The alien hesitated before speaking. "The council has officially classified humanity as a Class 5 biological hazard. They've sent ships to find Earth." Alina's heart sank. "They're going to attack our planet." "Not attack. Quarantine." "But..." Xerax looked away. "Some want more permanent measures." Meanwhile, Commander Chen was secretly tracking alien communications. He had found a way to access the station's information network through a panel in their quarters. What he discovered filled him with dread. When Alina returned to the human quarters, Chen pulled her aside. "They've already sent ships to Earth," he whispered. "Not just to find it. They're planning to sterilize it." "What?" "Xerax just told me about quarantine ships," Alina said. "There's more going on than your scientist friend knows," Chen replied. "I found messages about something called Protocol Cleans. They plan to eliminate the human threat completely." Captain Mills joined them. "Can we warn Earth?" Chen shook his head. "They're blocking all our communications." That night, Alina couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the test results. There was something strange about how human blood reacted with alien biology. It wasn't just the iron. There was something else. The next morning, she had a breakthrough. "Xerax, look at this," she called to her alien colleague. "It's not just the iron in our blood. Earth has unique trace elements that don't exist on your worlds. When combined with our hemoglobin, it creates a compound that's completely foreign to your biology." Xerax studied the results. "This is remarkable. Your blood doesn't just harm us. It's like the perfect chemical weapon against copper-based life." "Not a weapon," Alina corrected. "It's just evolution on a planet with different elements." Later, Alina shared her discovery with Chen and the others. "So our blood is special because Earth is special?" Dr. Wong asked. "Exactly," Alina said. "But I also learned something else. Xerax doesn't know I saw it, but there was data about other iron blood species in the system. Other species like us. Captain Mills leaned forward. Yes, but the files were heavily restricted. I only saw a glimpse before the system locked me out. Commander Chen's expression darkened. We need to act now. I've been mapping the station and found their shuttle bay. With Xerex's help, we might be able to steal a ship. You want to escape? Elena asked. What about working on a solution? We'll keep working on that, Chen said. But someone needs to warn Earth. If those ships reach our planet first. He didn't need to finish the sentence. That night, Chen approached Xerax privately. I know you care about scientific truth. Help us save our world, and we'll help you find a solution for everyone. The alien was silent for a long moment. What you ask is treason against the Council. What they're doing to Earth is genocide, Chen replied. Xerax's large eyes blinked slowly. Meet me at the third cycle change tomorrow. Bring only your smallest team members. I know a way out. While Commander Chen prepared for escape with a small team, Elena made a bold decision. She requested an emergency meeting with the full Council. This is extremely risky, Captain Mills warned her. What if they decide to just get rid of us? They won't, Elena said with more confidence than she felt. We have something they fear now. Fear can be leverage. The Council chamber was different this time. The aliens sat behind protective barriers. Guards with sealed suits stood everywhere. Elena alone represented humanity, standing in a special containment field. Dr. Elena Vasquez of Earth, announced the Council speaker. You have requested this audience. Speak. Elena took a deep breath. Honorable Council, I have discovered why human blood harms your species. It's not because we're weapons. It's because Earth has unique elements that, combined with our iron-based blood, create a compound toxic to copper-based life. She displayed her research on the large screens. Even with her limited access, she had compiled impressive data. More importantly, she continued, I've developed a simple neutralizing agent that can prevent the reaction. This wasn't completely true yet, but she was close. Murmurs spread through the chamber. If this neutralizer works, humans and Council species could interact safely, Elena explained. Protective measures would still be needed, but the extreme danger would be gone. The tall blue Council speaker leaned forward. This is promising research. But why bring this to the full Council rather than continuing your work with our scientists? Elena met his gaze steadily. Because I also know about the fleet heading to Earth with Protocol Clean's orders. The chamber erupted in shouts and arguments. Some Council members looked shocked, while others seemed angry that she knew. That protocol was not fully approved, shouted one alien with feathery skin. A precautionary measure only, insisted another. The speaker pounded a sound device for order. How did you learn of this classified information? That doesn't matter, Elena replied calmly. What matters is what happens next. She straightened her shoulders and looked around the chamber. If Earth is harmed, you should know something. Humans have always been good at one thing, turning natural defenses into weapons. The chamber grew very quiet. We don't want that, Elena continued softly. We want peaceful contact. We want trade and knowledge exchange. But we will defend ourselves. She held up a small vial of red liquid. This is human blood. Right now, it's dangerous to you by accident. Imagine if we made it dangerous on purpose. It was a bluff. Humans would never weaponize their blood. But the Council didn't know that. After hours of debate, the Council voted. Earth would not be cleansed. Instead, a careful contact protocol would be established using Elena's neutralizing research. What Elena didn't know was that Commander Chen, Dr. Wong, and two others had already left the station with Xerax's help. Their small ship was racing toward Earth, hoping to arrive before any Council vessels. Back in her quarters, Elena received a secret message from Xerax. Your friends are away, but the Xeraxian fleet left 2 days ago. They may reach Earth first. The Council doesn't control all its members' military forces. Elena sank into a chair. She had won in the Council chamber, But it might not be enough. Everything now depended on Chen's team beating the Zoraxians to Earth. The small alien ship shuddered as it pushed its engines beyond safe limits. Inside the cramped cockpit, Commander Chen checked their course again. "How much longer?" asked Dr. Wong, who sat beside him learning the alien controls. "At this speed, 5 Earth days to reach home," Chen replied. "But the Zoraxian fleet has faster ships and a 2-day head start." Their escape had not been easy. The Zorax had led them through secret maintenance tunnels to a small science vessel. 2 security guards had spotted them, but Chen's team managed to overpower them without serious injury. "I still don't understand why you helped us," Chen said to Zorax, who sat awkwardly in a chair designed for a different species. The alien's large eyes blinked slowly. "Science demands truth. Destroying a species without full understanding is not truth, it is fear." Back on the council station, Alina continued her diplomatic work. Many council members now supported her, impressed by her research and courage in addressing them directly. "The neutralizing agent is nearly perfected," she told the science committee. "Soon, humans and council species will be able to meet safely." An aide rushed into the room and whispered to the committee leader. The alien's color changed to a pale blue. "We have disturbing news," he announced. "The Zoraxian fleet has broken communication protocols. They're not responding to council orders to return." Alina felt cold fear grip her heart. "They're still going to attack Earth." "Not with council approval," the alien insisted. "That won't matter to the dead," Alina said sharply. Meanwhile on Earth, governments were growing concerned about the loss of contact with their diplomatic mission. Military forces around the world went on high alert. Space agencies reported unusual signals from the outer solar system. General Williams of the United Space Command studied the sensor readings. "Whatever these objects are, they're moving fast toward Earth. Definitely not natural." "First contact?" asked his aide. "Or first invasion?" the general replied grimly. In deep space, Chen's stolen ship detected the Zoraxian fleet ahead of them. 7 large warships, reported Technician Rivera, the 4th human in their escape team. "They'll reach Earth in 3 days. We need to get past them somehow," Chen said, studying the star charts. "There must be a shortcut." Zorax moved to the navigation system. "There is one possibility, a dangerous one." He pointed to a swirling mass on the star chart. "This is a space-time distortion. Your people might call it a wormhole. It's unstable, but it could put us near your Earth in hours instead of days." "How unstable?" Dr. Wong asked. "There is a 40% chance we would be destroyed," Zorax said matter-of-factly. Chen looked at his team members. "I'm not ordering anyone to take this risk. Earth has no idea what's coming," Dr. Wong said quietly. "Without warning, they'll have no chance." One by one, they all nodded. "Plot the course," Chen ordered. "We're going through." The small ship changed direction, heading toward the swirling distortion in space. Behind them, the Zoraxian fleet continued its steady advance toward an unsuspecting Earth. As they approached the wormhole, Zorax looked at Chen. "Your blood may be toxic to us, but your courage reminds me why new species should be studied, not feared." The ship shuddered as the wormhole's energies began to pull at it. Light bent around them in impossible ways. Then, with a final surge of power, they plunged into the swirling vortex. A blinding flash lit up the night sky over the Australian outback. Seconds later, a small alien ship crashed into the red desert, throwing up sand and rocks. The ship skidded half a mile before stopping. Inside, Commander Chen pulled himself from the broken controls. "Everyone alive," he called out. Dr. Wong had a cut on her forehead, but nodded. Rivera helped Zorax stand. The alien looked disoriented but unharmed. "The wormhole worked," Chen said, checking a display. "We're on Earth, Australian desert. The ship is finished," Rivera reported. "Communications are dead." Chen grabbed an emergency pack. "Then we walk. We need to reach civilization and contact military command. 20 miles and 10 hours later, they staggered into a small town. The locals stared at Sirax, some backing away in fear, others taking photos with their phones. "We need to speak to your military," Chen told the local police chief. "It's a global emergency." "Right," the officer said skeptically, staring at Sirax. "And I'm the Queen of England." Chen pulled out his military ID. "Commander Jackson Chen, Earth Diplomatic Security Force. This is a matter of planetary security." After hours of calls and verification, Australian military forces arrived. Soon, Chen was in a video conference with military leaders from around the world. "I know how this sounds," Chen told them, "but a hostile alien fleet will reach Earth in less than 2 days. They consider us a biological threat because our blood is toxic to their species." General Williams of the United Space Command spoke up. "We've detected 7 large objects entering the solar system. They'll reach Earth orbit in 48 hours. Those are Zoraxian warships," Chen confirmed. "They plan to eliminate humanity." Many officers looked doubtful until Sirax stepped forward. With Chen translating, the alien explained about human blood's effect on council species and showed recordings from the station. To prove his point, Chen took a small sample of his blood and placed a drop on alien biological material they had brought from the council station. The military leaders watched in shock as the sample began to dissolve. "Our blood contains elements unique to Earth," Chen explained. "It acts like acid to their biology." Meanwhile, in space, the first Zoraxian scout ships entered Earth orbit. Rather than attacking immediately, they began establishing a quarantine perimeter around the planet. Back at the council station, Alina worked frantically with alien scientists. She had finally developed a working neutralizing agent when Sirax's secret message arrived. They had reached Earth safely. Her relief was short-lived. Another message came from a council member who had befriended her. "There's something you need to know. You aren't the first iron-blooded species the council has encountered." Alina felt a chill run down her spine. What happened to the others? She typed back. The answer appeared on her screen. "Systematic elimination. All records erased. It happened centuries ago." Alina stared at the message in horror. This wasn't just about one accidental reaction. This was about an ancient fear buried in council history. On Earth, humanity prepared for its first interstellar war. Scientists worldwide began studying Chen's information about alien biology. If human blood was a natural weapon, they would use that advantage. No one noticed when 3 more ships, different from the Zoraxians, entered the solar system from another direction. Alina couldn't sleep. The information about other iron-blooded species haunted her. With help from her new council ally, a small insect-like alien named Trilly, she gained access to the restricted archives. "These records are sealed at the highest level," Trilly warned as they entered the dimly lit chamber. "We have only minutes before security systems detect us." The archive was ancient, using technology different from the rest of the station. Alina quickly downloaded data while Trilly kept watch. Back on Earth, military leaders gathered in an emergency United Nations session. Sirax stood before them, the first alien to address Earth's combined leadership. "The Zoraxian fleet is just the beginning," he explained through Chen's translation. "If they succeed, more council forces will follow." "How do we fight ships that can cross stars?" asked the Chinese premier. "You have one advantage," Sirax replied. "Your biology is their greatest fear." Scientists around the world worked nonstop, developing weapons that could use human blood compounds. It sounded barbaric, but survival was at stake. "We can create defensive barriers with diluted blood compounds," reported Dr. Patel from India's Science Division, "and projectile weapons that release blood aerosol on impact." On the council station, Alina finally decoded the ancient records. What she found changed everything. "Trilly, look at this," she whispered. The small alien's compound eyes widened as they read together. The records showed that millions of years ago, iron-blooded species had dominated the galaxy. They had been the first advanced civilization, spreading across thousands of worlds. Then came the Great War with emerging copper-based life forms. The war had nearly destroyed the galaxy. In the end, the copper-based alliance had won, driving the iron-blooded species to near extinction. The survivors had fled to distant worlds, including a small blue planet rich in iron, Earth. Humans aren't just random toxins, Alina realized. We're the descendants of the Iron Empire that once ruled the stars. This will divide the Council, Trilly said. Some will see humans as ancient enemies returning. Others will recognize your right to exist as part of the galactic heritage. Back on the station's main level, chaos erupted. A faction of Council military forces, led by the Zoraxians, seized control of key systems. The ancient enemy has returned, declared Admiral Zorax in a station-wide broadcast. We must finish what our ancestors started. The moderate council members were placed under arrest. The coup was swift and effective. On Earth, the Zoraxian fleet moved into attack position. Humanity braced for war with technology centuries behind their enemies. General Williams addressed his command center. We face an enemy with superior technology, but one critical weakness. They fear our blood, and today they'll learn why. As the first alien ships entered the atmosphere, Earth's defenses activated. The weapons seemed primitive to the aliens, until they discovered what those weapons delivered. In her quarters on the Council station, Alina made a desperate decision. She created a message containing all the ancient records and the truth about the galaxy's history. Using Trilly's access codes, she prepared to broadcast it to every Council species simultaneously. This might not stop the war, she told Trilly, but at least everyone will know why they're fighting. Across Earth's skies, the first battles of humanity's war for survival began. The sky over New York burned orange as alien ships descended through the atmosphere. Similar scenes played out over Beijing, London, Rio, and dozens of other major cities worldwide. They're targeting population centers first, reported General Williams, watching the global defense grid. Just as we predicted. Humanity had spent every minute since Chen's warning preparing for this moment. Now, Earth would find out if it was enough. The first Zoraxian landing ships touched down in Central Park. Armored aliens emerge, weapons ready, sealed in protective suits. They expected easy victory against primitive humans. They were wrong. As the aliens advanced, they triggered the first blood mines, simple devices containing pressurized human blood that exploded on contact. The effect was instant. Their protective suits began to dissolve where the blood touched. The blood weapons are working, shouted a defense coordinator. Across the globe, humans fought with a strange new advantage. Bullets coated in blood compounds caused alien armor to melt on impact. Aerosol sprayers created protective barriers around key facilities. Even injured soldiers became weapons, their blood dangerous to any alien who came too close. In the skies, human aircraft seemed hopelessly outmatched by alien technology. But pilots flew suicide runs, their planes loaded with blood compound bombs that could corrode alien ship hulls on contact. Commander Chen coordinated the Australian defense beside Xerax, who provided critical information about Zoraxian tactics. Their ships have a weakness on the lower quarter, Xerax explained. Target your blood weapons there. Why are you helping us fight your own people? A soldier asked Xerax. The alien's large eyes blinked slowly. Because extinction is never the answer to fear. Despite humanity's blood advantage, the aliens' superior technology began to turn the tide. Their ships adjusted, firing from higher altitudes. Their ground forces deployed new sealed armor. We can't hold them much longer, General Williams admitted during an emergency broadcast to survival bunkers worldwide. But we'll fight to the last drop of blood. On the Council station, Alina finally completed her broadcast preparation. With Trilly's help, she accessed the main communication array. Ready? She asked her small alien friend. The broadcast will reach every Council world and ship, Trilly confirmed. But the Zoraxians will trace it to us immediately. Elena nodded. It's worth the risk. She activated the transmission, sending the truth about the ancient war between iron and copper-based life forms across the galaxy. The message included evidence that both forms of life had equal right to exist, that the original conflict had been based on fear, not necessity. Most importantly, she included her research on the neutralizing agent, proof that coexistence was possible. In the midst of battle on Earth, something strange happened. Some Zoraxian ships suddenly stopped attacking. Commanders received the broadcast and, faced with the truth about the ancient conflict, questioned their orders. "This is Commander Vex of the Third Fleet," came a transmission across human communication channels. "We are standing down pending verification of new information." Not all aliens stopped fighting. The most dedicated Zoraxian forces pressed their attack harder, desperate to complete their mission before more ships defected. In orbit, new ships appeared, the mysterious vessels that had entered the system days before. They positioned themselves between Earth and the remaining attacking fleet. "Attention Zoraxian forces," came a new alien voice across all channels. "This is Admiral Kellix of the Council Peacekeeping Fleet. By emergency order of the restored Council, you are ordered to cease hostilities immediately." The battle for Earth had reached its turning point. Most Zoraxian ships stopped fighting when Admiral Kellix arrived. A few hardliners continued their attack, but they were quickly disabled by the Council Peacekeeping Fleet's advanced weapons. On Earth, the battle slowly ended. Humans emerged from shelters, staring at the alien ships now hovering peacefully above their cities. 3 days after the attack began, a special meeting took place at the United Nations. Representatives from Earth sat across from Admiral Kellix and other council members. Elena and Commander Chen had been brought back to Earth to help with negotiations. "The coup on the council station has been defeated," Admiral Kellix explained. "The broadcast of your ancient history changed everything. Many of our people refuse to continue a war based on old fears." "What happens now?" asked the UN Secretary General. "We offer peace," said a tall blue alien, "and apology for the unprovoked attack on your world." Commander Chen leaned forward. "Peace comes with conditions. Earth demands full representation on your council and payment for the damage done to our cities." The aliens looked surprised at the humans' boldness. They had expected gratitude, not demands. "You are in no position to make demands," said one Zoraxian representative who had reluctantly joined the peace talks. Elena spoke up. "Actually, we are. You've seen what humans can do with just a few days to prepare. Imagine what we could do with years." The room fell silent as everyone remembered the effectiveness of the blood weapons. "Besides," she added more gently, "my research shows that iron and copper-based life can coexist peacefully. The neutralizing agent works. There's no reason for further conflict." After long negotiations, an agreement was reached. Earth would join the Galactic Council as a full member. Special protocols would prevent accidental blood exposure. The Zoraxians would pay reparations for the damage caused. 1 month later, a historic ceremony marked humanity's official entry into galactic society. The event used Elena's neutralizing agent to prevent any accidental reactions. Humans and aliens stood together without fear for the first time. As Elena took her place as Earth's first council representative, she looked out at the gathered species from across the galaxy. "Today marks the end of an ancient conflict," she said. "Iron and copper blood evolved along different paths, but both have the same right to exist among the stars." Later, at a private reception, Kajarax approached Elena. "You have achieved something remarkable," he said. "No species has ever joined the Council with such influence. Most wait centuries for full membership." "We had a unique advantage," Elena replied with a small smile. "Yes," Kajarax agreed. "The day we learned human blood is acidic to every known species changed the galaxy forever, but not in the way anyone expected." Commander Chen joined them, looking out at Earth shining blue and green through a viewport. "So what now? Will we be welcomed or just tolerated?" "Both," Kajarax said honestly. Some fear you, others respect you, but all know that humans cannot be ignored or threatened. Elena watched alien and human diplomats cautiously mingling across the room. That's all we ever wanted, to be treated as equals. You got something better, Tesseract observed. The blood in your veins has made humanity the most protected species in the galaxy. No one would dare threaten a world that bleeds acid. As night fell on humanity's first day as a galactic citizen, people around the world looked up at the stars with new understanding. They were no longer alone in the universe. And thanks to a quirk of biology, they would never be conquered. The iron in their blood, once just a means of carrying oxygen, had become humanity's passport to the stars.